What up, guys? Here for a quick vlog, and thing is, I might have to put it into two parts. So Holiday Matsuri, man, I've heard about it for a couple of years, because I did have a friend I used to work with that did cosplay, and she was talking about it because she knew I liked I liked anime and all that kind of stuff and cosplay stuff, even though I haven't got to jump into it, but we'll get into that later. And I just always heard a little bit about Holiday Matsuri, knowing it was like one of the bigger things, but I was always, you know, like reluctant to go since it's in Orlando. And so this year, Miko, the Muddy Cult leader, decided she was gonna come down so she could come and check out the con and also finally go to a con with me, because for years upon years she's been wanting to go to a con with me, especially since she lives in Texas and there's plenty of cons that go on down there that she ends up going to. And so this was finally the opportunity where we'd be able to go and enjoy a con together for the first time. And boy, let me tell you, it was so fun. The venue's done at the World Center at Marriott, and that place is ginormous. It's crazy how big that place is. And so I was like, wow, this is definitely gonna be the biggest con that I've ever been to. And this year, as you guys who've been, you know, following me here on YouTube probably realize, man, he's been going to a lot of cons this year. And I'm like, yeah, I really have. I haven't been to this many conventions in 1 year. And I just gotta say, I think I'm kind of an addict now. I mean, I'm digging it a lot. I mean, there was MetroCon, then there was MegaCon. Didn't get to go to Tampa Bay Comic-Con this year, but I did get to go to LumiCon, and then it ended off with Holiday Matsuri, and boy, it was a great time. So let's, you know, do a quick recap, since not everything was able to be there on site, which I will put that on site footage in, but just to kind of a quick overview, let me bust out my schedule real quick and just make sure I don't miss anything. So yeah, man, place was huge. It was awesome. We ended up planning on going to a lot of really cool different things. Like one thing we went to was like an old school Cartoon Network battle thing. It was a really cool panel there. We also went to well, we thought about going to an Idol Family Feud thing. Didn't end up going. We ended up really enjoying ourselves in the game room, which was also like huge. They had so many games. They had arcade cabinets. They had a whole bunch of rhythm games imported from Japan. So of course that included like Dance Dance Revolution. Also had like a huge place for all the fighting games. Like they had Soul Calibur 6 out. They had Street Fighter out. They had of course they had Smash Ultimate going. They had the new My Hero Academia, One's Justice or something like that, I think is what it's called, out there. They had everything. It was amazing, and stuff, and plenty of stuff that I haven't even heard of that was really cool to check out. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. But anyway, some of the other things we ended up going to, like one thing we were interested in was like a dance cover contest. We didn't get to necessarily make it there, but we did get to see plenty of dancing, for sure, because there were people dancing in the halls, and then also later on there were some other panels that included some dancing. Man, alright. But yeah, it had to go see Noise Complaint. I told Miko all about it. I was like, yo, for sure there's like two acts that I must see that I know just off the top of my head. One is Noise Complaint, and the other one's Geekapella, which is some part of my haul, which I'll get into a little bit more later on. Some of the stuff that I ended up getting. But saw them. Their first show was based on RWBY, and it was a great show. Just like I'm used to them giving. We ended up also going to a Lolita panel that was pretty cool too. They went to a lot of Lolita panels because that's something that Miko has dabbled in a little bit, has some interest. So, you know, I ended up going with her. And plus, at MetroCon, I actually went to one of the Lolita panels just because it was something to do at the time. So I was just like, well, let's go check it out. I know about the whole lolly thing. Wonder if it's related at all. And turns out, no, not at all. So it was cool getting to know a little bit about that. So then going to all the panels that we went to for this convention that deals with Lolita culture was definitely fascinating. So that was cool to check out. And ended up later on going to tried to go to a cosplay contest, but that didn't end up working out, unfortunately, because the special events room ended up being kind of closed a lot of times. So what we did eventually end up going to was the hottest men in anime, and some of the guys were hot, the others, you know, they did their best, but it was a cool little contest thing. Where, you know, the guys could show off their bodies for the ladies and everything, and it was an enjoyable time because some of them just had fun with it, and so it was fun for the whole 18+ family. But, you know, unfortunately at that time, a friend that we met, made at the con, Mushi, was not able to stay for that to happen, but it was cool being able to hang out with her before that, and then also later on during the con. So she was really cool, and if you're watching, hi. But anyway, and then there was also another cool kind of like burlesque show off for everybody. Your cosplay and sexy skills with the pleasure pixels, all based around Kingdom Hearts of all things. Kind of a dream drop distance in a way most people wouldn't ever remember it, and boy, it was memorable. I just gotta say, for me, well, actually, let me put it this way. I think the highlight for me and Miko at the pleasure pixels presentation was Donald. For me, it was a socket puppet Donald. For her, it was cosplay hip-hop dancer Donald, because they got down to some Genuine and all kinds of other stuff. It was crazy, but a great time. And we go on to day two. And this is the day that that Miko actually cosplayed as someone that I knew. She was Saki from Zombieland Saga, because I'm watching Zombieland Saga this season, and she happened to do that, and everybody a lot of people when she passed by would end up being like, "Hey, Zombieland Saga!" So that was really cool. But this was like the long day, because, you know, usually the Saturday is the pretty much the longer day of the con, since usually it starts early, ends late, and so therefore we end up getting to stuff like, let's see, what did we end up doing? So we woke up a little late that day, heading out to the panels and stuff, and one of the panels we ended up going to see was the J-Rock is Not Dead, because what is Miko a huge fan of? Visual K. In fact, she had her own Visual K panel before, and so she just kind of wanted to go and share in that love of Visual K, and she actually ended up winning a prize there at the end of the panel because of her J-Rock knowledge from Tepi Baka. Yeah, memory. But yeah, so that was really cool to go to. Let's see, what else we ended up going to. We went to like a Dance Dance Revolution panel for a little bit. Then after that, we switched over to a lip sync battle, and boy, that was crazy. A lot of people were doing songs from Disney stuff is something that I realized. There's also a few things from Steven Universe, I believe it was, and then plus there's always somebody who has to be Chip Skylark for some reason. I have no idea what's up with Chip Skylark and why he's so huge at cons, but this year I've been seeing a lot of Chip, but it was still really cool. And oh yeah, was that the first day too? Yeah, it was the first day. All right, so instead of that Idol Family Feud thingy, we actually ended up going to this How to Be a Small YouTuber thing, and that panel was all right. It had a lot of technical difficulties, and so that just you know, made it a little bit tough to get through, but it is what it is. Let's see. After we skipped out on the Dance Dance Revolution thing and the lip sync battle thing, we went over to a yeah, we pretty much just went to go eat. And then we also played some cool games, some cool card games called What Do You Meme is one game that we played a lot of, as well as, what was the other game called? Oh, Most Likely To. Really fun games. Got to play those for the first time there at the con, and it was really great. So thanks, Miko, for bringing the fun games that we got to have fun woozy with. That was dope. Then we went, so basically we just kind of hung out until the rave came around, and so we went to go see what the rave was like. We went to go see what the Cosplay Deviants party was like, and you know, the Deviants had the better music, so we ended up spending a little bit more time there, in the middle of also, you know, checking out the game room again, because there were so many games, there was no way we could not play all of them in just one day. So we did spend a little bit of time in there, even though it ended kind of on a sour note, since we were waiting in line for a long time for the Jew Beats game, which you may have already seen footage of. We were waiting for it to play that game again, and they closed it right before it was going to be our turn to get on the machine, so that kind of sucked. Day three, we, you know, gotta get your whole, what's it called, check it out and all that kind of stuff. So we did all that, and then we went out, and I finally was able to show Miko Noise Complaint, because she was there, and it was for the 90s set, and it was a blast. They had a lot of cool throwbacks, a lot of really great moves. They were silly as all get up, and it was another enjoyable time. After that, we switched over to the K-pop games thing, and that's where we definitely saw even more dancing, because the thing is, one of the competitions they had was a dance battle. And so they would play a random K-pop song, and with the random groups that they ended up making out of all the people in the panel room, had to, you know, do the choreography, and they actually did really good. I was like surprised. I was like, man, there's no way I would, like, I'm not that into K-pop to learn all these routines like that, and it's amazing that they could do all this stuff. But it was really fun. And then the last part was another lip sync battle to different songs that they ended up playing from, you know, the popular K-pop music. So it was really, really cool. Then there was also another Lolita panel that Miko and Mushi actually ended up going to for a little bit. And then I went to like the Funimation panel for a little bit as well, until I realized, oh, this is just, you know, kind of showing what they have on the website, and, you know, trying to get coerce people into, you know, seeing the value and getting the subscription. But I'm like, well, I already have a subscription and I'm never getting rid of it, so there's no need for me to be here. And so basically we spent the rest of our time kind of pretty much in the dang on vendor's room, which I haven't got to touch on yet. But the vendor's room though was so good. Like, they had a lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff. I wasn't able to get everything that I wanted, but I tell you one thing, I'm definitely looking forward to possibly going again so I can get some more cool stuff. But let me show you just a tiny taste of some of the things I got, because I got some Spirited Away merch for a friend. He already has it, so I can't really show it off, but I got, you know, a shirt of No Face on it and a No Face plush. Also ended up getting a really cool Street Fighter thing. It's in the package, so I'm not gonna open it up because I kind of want it to be opened by the friend it's for. So I'm keeping it nice and neat inside the bag. But it's a really cool Street Fighter shirt that I think he'll love. Also, gotta show you another cool shirt that I ended up getting. Another shirt that I ended up getting was a Trigun shirt, because everyone knows Vash the Stampede is my spirit animal. So of course I had to get myself a Trigun shirt. Also, another thing I've had to get was one of my favorites, because I never ever have the cash to get anime until I go to convention, and so I got Ghost in the Shell. I finally got the first season, boy! Now all I had to get is the second gig, wherever I end up finding it, and then the piece on la resistance. I don't know French. I had to get myself Trigun. Finally, I finally got Trigun on DVD. So, you know, I know I got Funimation so I can stream anime, and there's so many different shows that I can watch at any time, and as long as I keep up with my subscription, I can always go and watch any of these shows, including Trigun, since that Funimation has Trigun, and also Cowboy Bebop, which is another show that I own on the physical copy. But I feel that for all of my absolute favorite shows, I would love to have physical copies of it. And especially I'm happy to have Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, because this one is hard for me to find with the dub online legally. I don't know if it's on Crunchyroll, to be honest. I haven't really looked because I don't really use my Crunchyroll account, especially since it's not premium. And plus, most of the stuff on Crunchyroll when you're doing the free account is mainly subs. And since I mainly watch dubs, and I originally watched Ghost in the Shell dubbed, I would love to continue to watching it dubbed. So anyway, legal ways, support the artist. I would like to get physical copies of, you know, those shows. So there are a few other shows that I know I would love to get. Like there's a couple of them that I really thought about getting, because I saw Black Lagoon there, and I was like, ooh, do I want Black Lagoon? Because Black Lagoon is so good. And also there was another show there that I was thinking about getting. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was like another one of my favorites recently. They had like a lot of really good shows there that I was like, ooh, I could get a copy of this, but I need to save some money, that way I can eat in a couple weeks. So for the sacrifice of my stomach, I decided I'm gonna just stick with these two shows here and the shirts that I ended up getting along with the plush. You know, I just gotta say I had a fantastic time. And yeah, I would love to go again. And next time, hopefully, I'll be cosplaying. I gotta break down and just go for it, you know? Cause I've been scared to even try and attempt to do it. But it's time to not be scared anymore, man. Let's cosplay. I just gotta figure out who to cosplay as, because that's been another one of the things holding me back, trying to figure out who to do as my first, just because I don't want to do something absolutely too challenging that I have to give up halfway through it. But I guess what I should actually do is find out the next con that I want to go to, or figure out which con I want to debut at, and make that my deadline. That way I can really start putting things into motion to do it. But you know, that's pretty much my recap of the stuff that I was not able to get footage of. But yeah, so I think didn't end up, like, during all this talking, I was just thinking, man, for just in case purposes, I'll put this intro here and figure out whether I'll do a part 2 or not. So yeah, I am gonna go ahead and do a part 2. You'll be able to click the part 2 down here eventually, and you'll be able to see all the stuff that I captured while I was there at the event. But yeah, Holiday Matsuri was dope, and I'd love to go again. So it's definitely something that might happen, especially since even Miko's thinking about possibly coming back again too. So it could be maybe a tradition. But yeah, all right, much love, peace.